Self-care is an action. Self-love, it's like a feeling.
What do you do for your self-love?
For me, like, actions I take, I work out, and I do affirmations.
Yeah.
And then I do write down everything, too. Because I think things are always worse at the moment, and then you look back and you're like, oh my God.
Or you read it back and you're
so
like,
silly.
right.
Maybe I'm the
Or
problem.
I'm so dramatic, you know? Or it's crazy, like, when you read it back too, you're like, damn, I actually felt that way.
Or for me, I feel like I'm so forgiving, too, that sometimes, like, I'll, like, go back and be like, oh my God, I totally forgot this person made me feel this type of way.
I hate them again.
Yeah. Fuckers. Like, working out is always, like, a must for me because I don't work out to be in shape. It's, you know, just a bonus, but I feel like I work out for my mental health because I need those endorphins.
Right,
you know?
no, yeah. I feel like everybody should have, like, a hobby or something like that, like working out or, like, something to keep you, like, distracted of, like, your emotions or some way, like, you can, like, express those emotions too. Like, some people, like, do it through art. Some people do it through, like, working out. So I feel like everybody needs, like, a hobby or, like, something in their life. Because I feel like even when you're, like, in a relationship and you don't have, like, anything, like, no friends, like, no hobby, like you depend so much on that person to always, like, be with you. You should just, like, do your own thing, have your own things going on, you know? So you don't feel, like, dependent on someone else. Like, if they're going to go hang out with someone,
like, you have your own individual person.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. With all my heart, I don't want to work out. But I'm going to do it because I got to show up for myself. Because even at the end when I'm done, I feel good about it.
Right.
And it's easy to advise somebody, like, work out. It's good for you. Eat healthy. It's good for you. But, like, how much do you do, too, you know?
Like, giving advice is so easy, but taking it yourself or, like, applying it to you is, like, so hard.
Girl, leave him.
Right, yeah. Like, it's so easy.
It's so easy, yeah. But I think it's just putting, you know, everything into practice on, like, doing what's good for you, yourself, your body, your mind.
And that's why, like, when I give people advice like that, I, like, think about, like, if I'm in this situation, I'm like, okay, like, what advice would I give my friend? You know, I'm like, I should apply that to me, you know, in my situation. Like, what would I tell someone to do? You know, advise them. Like, I should do that for me, you know.
The best thing that's happened to me is having a child, because they always tell you, like, oh, nurture your inner child. And not until I became a parent is when I, like, realized what that meant. And it's like, I wouldn't want my kid in certain situations or, like, allowed anyone to talk to them the way, like, we talk to each other or, you know, or someone else, you allow someone else to treat you or talk to you. And, like, you know, we all put each other down sometimes. And so it's like, I would kill anyone, yeah. So it's just like, I wouldn't allow that type of energy or people around my kids. So why am I going to allow that around myself?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I feel like I learned to parent myself and love myself more as an, like, person, as an adult, as a, like, mom too. You know, find love and abundance within yourself and not need that from somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's important, like, not needing it from anyone, like, being okay being alone because you give yourself all those things.
You can't live your life around your kids.
Like, revolve your whole life around them, or
like, I do revolve my schedule around her, but I don't want my life to be all about my kid.
Right.
Like,
you still need to have your independence.
At first, there was that sense that I feel like I lost myself because I was like, oh, now I'm a parent, now I'm an adult, now I'm like, all these things I didn't want to be.
Yeah, like, things have changed. Like,
yeah, it's just a different change. You lose yourself because you're so selfless when you're a parent to raise a child that it's crazy, and you do lose yourself. But that's where I'm like, why am I so different now? Why do I feel so, like, lost if I'm doing my best for her and I love her, but I feel so not me? And it's like, because you also need to spend time on you and around surround yourself by, like, your people who like you. What phases do you think you've gone through when it comes to self-love, self-care?
Oh, okay. I feel like just being confident, because I would say, like, back in high school, like, I was never, like, the confidence I have now. Like, it was never like that in high school. Like, I feel like in high school, I was more, like, influenced on people's opinions. Like, I honestly, like, cared what people thought of me. Like, with, like, little things, like, even with, like, my friend group, like, if I liked a guy and, like, one of my friends was like, oh, he's ugly, I'd be like, dude, you're so right. Like, I don't like him anymore. Like,
you're right.
Yeah, no, literally. Even though I'd be like, damn, he's cute. But, like, I'm like, oh, no, I have to just, like, fit in, or I have to, like, oh, no, what are they going to say? Like, what do they say about me? It was after, like, like my very first relationship. It was only like 4 months, but that was like the first time I had ever like actually like dated someone. Like, so, and then that whole thing. So like after like we broke up, I feel like that's when I kind of like found myself, like in a way. Like that's when I feel like my self love like started like growing and like coming in. So I feel like I had to go through that relationship, realize I didn't want to be in a relationship, and then after that, like I don't know, like my self love like slowly like started growing. But that's like the thing with like self love, like it doesn't happen like overnight. Like it literally takes years for you to like be where you are, like have the confidence, have like your self love, and know your worth. Like it's taking me like literally years to like get to the point where I am right now. You know,
I wouldn't validate my feelings enough, and I feel like my self esteem was a little low. And I just, felt more vulnerable and more like people pleaser on like, wait, is this enough? Am I good enough?
Like being yourself, being authentic. Because like with social media, I feel like we've just like, people have been like so influenced with like trends and like these models or whatever the fuck.
With having that transition of like, oh, you're so young and you want to fit in and you're such a people pleaser and, you know, like you want to make everybody around you happy or you want to fit in. I feel like it's also played a part in being a grown-up. Like, as much as we don't realize it, well, at least I didn't realize it, when I would be on social media, I'm like, I'm never gone to Dubai, you know? Like, you know, you see all these influential people and living their best life and
doing this and that, trip after trip, or getting this, So I feel like it's hard to, like, stay authentic, I guess, to yourself, because you see like all these things where you're like, oh shit, like what am I doing wrong? Like, dude, I need to do this, or I need to like come up or do this, like so I can be at this level. Or just like even like with my niece that she's gonna like start middle school, like they're like, oh, like all the girls have like Snapchats, and then like she feels like she needs to get it.
I remember like being like young and it's like, oh, you don't have a phone? And I'm
just want to be like,
Mom, Dad, get me a phone, please.
That was me,
Yeah.
And they wouldn't.
And they obviously not, you know.
Like, I had my iPod Touch.
I had my iPod
Touch. I would take that shit everywhere.
Yeah, I had the text-free app, you know. And that type of stuff to me, I would low-key get embarrassed. I remember I would get jealous because, like, these girls would come with new rock revivals, Abercrombie and Fitch, Uggs, and everything. And I'm like, man, I'm still wearing last year's Converse.
I know.
And I remember sometimes, like, at first I was like, I don't even like Uggs.
I'm like, my Uggs are slouching now. They're dragging on the ground.
But sometimes I'm like, do I really like it, or do I only like it because I think that girl who's cool is wearing it, and I feel like I get influenced too. I'm like, even social media.
No, I feel like it's different, like getting influenced and then like getting inspired. Like I feel like you might see someone be like, oh shit, like that looks good, the way she like put that shirt with that bandana, like I'm gonna do that. Like I feel like there's a difference between like those two, you know? So I feel like on TikTok,
I never saw it that way, to be honest.
Oh. The newest fashion trend is to wear like these baggy jeans, and like everyone goes buys in baggy jeans, and then the next trend comes up, like, you know, like things like that. I feel like just stay like authentic to you, to your style, like be like inspired. If you really like it, don't just like buy it because everyone else is buying it and it's the trend. Like if you like genuinely like the baggy pants, get the baggy pants.
When I was younger, it was one of my FOMOs, like missing out on parties. And it's funny because I definitely went to plenty, and now I'm like, I don't want to go to any.
I know. I want to stay away from them.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I just got home. I just got off work. Once I shower, I'm just like, feels good. I don't really want to go get sweaty
make this
and
candle
dance
in my pen. Chill.
Just chill with a little throw blanket.
Yes.
Like, do I really want to go out? I just got in. I don't want to go out.
And I think, or like when someone texts me like, oh, like you want to go hang out? I'm like, do I? Like, okay, it's gonna require me to get up from my bed right now, fucking get ready, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's funny because I do think about the requirements. I'm like, dude, if I already have my makeup on and I just need to change, or if I just need to take a quick body shower, put my makeup's on, then I'm like, am I hungry? Am I not?
Right, have I ate? Like, yeah, literally.
Is there food?
It's the whole, thinking process.
Yeah, I'm like,
most of the time I end up staying home.
Yeah, most of the time. It depends what time too, because like at this day, like
I'm not going out hella late.
Yeah, if it's past 8 p.m., I don't care if that's early. I'm not going out.
Maturing is crazy, huh?
I hate maturing.
I know.
I still feel 16. It's funny when I found out I was pregnant. I was like, "Fuck! Oh wait, I'm not even 16. I'm pregnant." You know?
Oh yeah. You're like, I felt like a teen mom.
Yeah, I felt like a teen mom. I was like, "How am I gonna tell my parents?" Even though I don't live with them. I don't even live with them, and I'm just like, how am I gonna tell them?
That's hella funny. I still feel hella young. I don't know. Like, I feel like 21.
Me too.
Fuck yeah.
Duh.
All right. And I'm gonna stay that way. I'm gonna stay with that mentality.
Yeah.
Like, always feel young.
Weird to see kids, like, you know, like your niece and stuff, like, oh, I need to have this because everybody else has it. And being grown up, now you're just more okay with being authentic to yourself because you're like, you don't really need to. And then you're not trying to satisfy or please anybody because you got bills to pay and
you're not worried about anyone else. Yeah. You're just worried about, like, yourself and what the fuck you got going on and what you need to do.
You're such a compassionate person when it comes to, like, relationships or family. Like, it's so easy to just be so selfless and, like, be who they want you to be. You're such a, like, good person like that. You kind of forget that part. I feel like I forgot that part of my younger self that was so, like, headstrong. And I'm like, if I don't want to, I'm not going to.
Right, yeah.
You know? And then you grow up and you're such a selfless person and you want to please everybody else because if not, you're bad and stuff
or
like
validate
that.
their feelings. And, yeah.
I feel like that's what's led me to, like, toxic relationships with friends, family, like, you know, with a partner, that I've always not validated my feelings and then just dealt with it.
Or I've always put their feelings in front of mine. That was, like, my problem. Or even sometimes now, like, I feel like that's what I'm working on. And I'm also, like, working on being, like, such a people pleaser because I feel like I still struggle with that, like, in certain ways. So I feel like with that, and then, yeah, just putting myself first, like, validating my feelings first.
I used to go through things that I'm like, I didn't like, but I'm just kind of stay quiet just to not stir the pot, you know, or just start shit. Or if I tell you, dude, don't talk to me like that. Like, you're going to come at me, you know? So I would avoid conflict and just be like, okay, whatever.
Or confrontation, I would not. I would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna, like, let it be.
Like, if I care about you, I'm so selfless. I will do everything and anything for you. But then I, like, find myself not being happy. And I always find myself, like, sometimes I find myself, like, in situations or relationships where I'm like, I'm not even happy. And why am I not happy? I'm like, oh, because certain situations like that where I'm like, I was repulsed and repelled that, like, he acted the way he did. And I was like, oh my God, I don't like that for myself.
Yeah.
And I know old me would have probably been like, okay, whatever, and let it go. But now I'm learning, like, yeah, I let shit go, but I also don't let shit go. Now I'm very more like, yeah, I'm definitely going to tell you.
Right.
Like, I was no sicona before, but I also was trying to always be respectful and, like, all right, I know I can hurt your feelings, so I'm not going to go there. But now I don't care a fuck about your feelings. Yeah, fuck your feelings.
Fuck you.
A lot of self-growth and, like, reading all these books on, like, personal wellness and stuff. I also learned, like, more about myself. Like, I was telling
why
you,
are
like,
the way you are.
Yeah. And about people, too, or why they are the way they are, you know? I used to always think I was dramatic. I was always told, oh, you're so, like, enojona. You're so, like, dramatic. Or de todo te enojas. And I'm like, no. Well, yeah. I'm like,
no, but yes.
I'm like, no, but yes. Me enojo porque it's like,
y'all piss me off.
Self-expressing myself that I'm not okay with something that you're obviously doing. So for you to gaslight me and tell me I'm the problem because I'm an enojona, I'm dramatic, and oh, here she goes again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. Like, now reading all these books and, like, learning about myself, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm validated to feel the way I fucking feel, you know?
Or I feel like before I would always take, like, certain, like, everything, like, really personal. But I feel like now, like, I don't take anything personal anymore. Because I think I've been, like, reading about, like, you know, like, the projection. Like, how someone treats you, like, it's just, like, a projection of themselves or, like, something they're not happy with within themselves. So I feel like when, like, if someone's, like, rude to you, I feel like it's never, like, really about you. Like, if you're just, like, at work or something and someone's, like, just being a dick for no reason, like, just like, okay, I'll let you have your bad day, but it's not going to affect me, like, you know?
I used to feel like that, but then I also think, like, that's why I voice what I voice, because you also need to be aware, like, if you're being a bitch to me, I'm also not tolerating it. Like,
no, of course,
you can have your bad day. You can be going through whatever you're going through. Like, we never know what someone is actually going through, you know? And I try to be compassionate about it, but once it actually starts hurting my feelings and making me feel something I don't want to feel, then I will voice it, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely, I feel like it just depends, like, the situation. Like, if it just, like, a walk-in came in and he was just being, like, a dick, that's different than, oh, like, my friend's, like, she made something to hurt my feelings and she's being a bitch. Like, I feel like those are two different things. Like, the walk-in, I wouldn't take personally, but, like, my friend, okay, like, I took that personally, like, because you're my friend, you know, like, yeah.
I feel like we forget that the world doesn't revolve around us, too.
I know.
Well, I'm the main character in my world.
Oh, yeah.
You know?